Namaste to all students. Khushro Bitia. Myself, JVN Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we are going to discuss about lac operon. This session is related to molecular biology course of program MSc Microbiology and MSc Biotechnology second set. So first of all, we have to know about the control of gene expression. So each cell in the human contains all the genetic material for the growth and development of a human. Some of these genes will be need to be expressed all the time. These are the genes that are involved in the vital biochemical processes such as respiration, and other genes are not expressed all the time. They are switched on or switched off at the need. So for the need of expression of any particular gene, we need to understand about the operons. So means what are the operons? So an operon is a group of gene that are transcribed at the same time when other genes are transcribed. They usually control an important biochemical process. They are only found in prokaryotes. So here in this session, we are going to discuss about the lac operon. Lac operon basically consists of three genes, each involved in the processing of sugar lactose. One of them is the gene for the enzyme beta-galactosidase. This enzyme hydrolyzes lactose and convert it into glucose and galactose because lactose is a disaccharide. So basically beta-galactosidase break down the lactose into glucose and galactose. So, before understanding the complete mechanism, we have to know about the adapting to the environment of bacteria. So, E. coli can use either glucose, which is a monosaccharide, or lactose, which is a disaccharide. However, lactose need to be hydrolyzed first, means digested first. It has to be degraded, it has to be break down into their monosaccharide unit. So the bacterium prefers to use glucose when it can. If glucose is available, and so E. coli will use glucose, and if glucose and lactose are present in the media, so they will firstly use the glucose because it is monosaccharide, and after the consumption of all glucose, they will go for the lactose. Now we have to discuss, first of all, we have to clarify, we have to assume four situations which can be possible. For example, when glucose is present in media and lactose is absent, so the E. coli does not produce any beta galactosidase. Second, when glucose is present and lactose is also present, so the E. coli does not produce beta galactosidase. When glucose is absent but lactose is also absent, so again E. coli does not produce any beta galactosidase. When glucose is absent but lactose is present, so E. coli produces the beta galactosidase. Here you have to follow these four situations, but only in one situation beta galactosidase will be produced, where glucose is completely absent but lactose is present. So for the E. coli, there is only lactose is like a energy source or substrate for the respiration process. So first of all, E. coli produces the beta galactosidase, then this beta galactosidase degraded the lactose and convert it into its monosaccharide, and from there E. coli can get the glucose as a substrate for its respiration process. But in the three previous situations, like where glucose were present in first and second situation, so E. coli simply used the glucose for respiration process. There was no need for the production of beta galactosidase. But in the third case, glucose was also absent and lactose was also absent. So here you can simply see in the third situation, like lactose somehow is an inducer for the production of beta galactosidase. So for these possibilities, for these situations, we have some explanation. So for the explanation, we have to know about the control of lac operon. So for the understanding, here I am sharing the screen of slide, so you can better understand. First of all, we are thinking that we have first situation means when lactose is absent. This is lac operon, where this is regulator gene, this is operator gene, and these are three genes of lac operon Z, Y, A. A repressor protein is continuously synthesized. It sits on a sequence of DNA just in front of lac operon, which is operator site. And the repressor protein blocks the promoter site where the RNA polymerase settles before it starts transcribing. For example, when lactose is completely absent, so this regulator gene will express and it will create the repressor protein. This repressor protein will bind to the operator region, then it will block the transcription process of these ZYA region. So that's why when lactose is completely absent and glucose is also absent, so beta galactosidase will not be produced. Second option, when lactose is present, um, a small amount of sugar, allolactose, is formed within the bacterial cell. This fits onto the repressor protein and at the another active site, and this causes the repressor protein to change its shape and it can no longer sit on the operator site, and RNA polymerase can now reach at its promoter site. So this is the regulator site, uh, and when lactose is present, it will create the repressor protein, but lactose will bind to the repressor protein and they can change the structure of this repressor protein. After the changing of repressor protein structure, it can't be able to bind operator region. So now operator region is active. So ZYA regions are active. They will be active transfer. They will behave like a active transcription process, and they will transcribe the messenger RNA related to their specific enzymes. When both glucose and lactose are present, this explains how the lac operon is transcribed only when lactose is present, but this does not explain why the operon is not transcribed when both glucose and lactose are present. When glucose and lactose are both present, RNA polymerase can sit on to the promoter site, but it is unstable and it keeps falling off. Here you can see these are the lactose, which can bind to the repressor protein. On the other hand, this operator region, it can create the RNA polymerase, but it is like unstable. It will start to keep falling off. In the fourth situation, when glucose is absent and lactose is only present, so another protein is needed as an activator protein, and this stabilizes the RNA polymerase. The activator protein only works when glucose is absent, and in this way E. coli only makes enzyme to metabolize other sugar in the absence of glucose. Here you can simply see this is the activator protein, studies the RNA, and now RNA polymerase simply bind to the, and then further transcription process occurs. So this is how can we can justify four situations, and simply we can see that lactose is like a activator. It can repress, it can inactive the repressor protein so that operator will be activate and then it will able to bind, and it will able to bind with the repressor protein, and the operator will be active, and then three reasons will be activate. First will produces the beta galactosidase, second one will create the transacetylase enzyme. So how they will create like Transacetylase enzyme will create the more pores in the E. coli cell to uptake the lactose enzyme into the cell. On the other hand, beta galactosidase is the enzyme which is required for the lactose degradation. It can degrade the lactose and create the monosaccharides, and one of the most important monosaccharide will be produced, which is glucose, and then E. coli will use this glucose as a substrate for the respiration process, which is a very major important respiration system, respiration process, so that energy currency will be generated, and that's how it will help in the growth of the E. coli. So lac operon is like a promoter operon, and in which lactose is a promoter. So this is the sum up of this session, and in this session, uh, some points are important in the context of competitive exams. For example, you have to learn that what is the basically lac operon, and it is repressor operon or it is the activator operon or promoter operon, and what is the meaning of I in the lac operon, what is the meaning of O, and how repressor protein behaves, like how it bind to the operator region and how it inactivate the expression of beta galactosidase enzyme. On the other hand, you have to know about the completely four situations, like where glucose and present and glucose is present along with the lactose. So you have to understand about the concept that when glucose is absent and lactose is present. And if we talk about the summary of the lac operon behavior, so for example, if I tell you about the summary of this topic, you can simply see, like if carbohydrates, in the carbohydrate glucose is also present and lactose is also present, so activator not bound to the DNA. Repressor proteins lifted off operator site, means repressor proteins structure has been changed just because of a lactose, because lactose will bind to the repressor protein, it will change the structure of repressor protein so that it can't be bind to the operator region, and operator region is activate, they transcribe the RNA, but that RNA is lifted off the operator site, and that's why no transcription occurs, means RNA polymerase keep falling off promoter site because of presence of glucose. Second situation, if glucose is present and lactose is absent, activator not bound to the DNA, means lactose is not present, and that's why repressor protein generates and it can bind simply to the operator site of the lac operon, and now it blocked by the repressor, so no transcription will be occur. In the third situation, when lactose is absent, glucose is absent, both are absent, so activator bound to the DNA, and repressor protein which has been generated by the repressor site, it bind to the operator site and make it inactivate. Then when operator site becomes inactivate, so RNA polymerase will not able to bind and will not able to start the transcription process, so transcription process will not be occur. In the last situation, where glucose is completely absent and lactose is present, so activator will come and bind to the DNA, and repressor protein will be changed in its conformation and in its structure, because glucose is completely absent and lactose is present, which bind to the repressor protein and change the structure of repressor protein and lifted, and now this repressor protein lifted off the operator site, and RNA polymerase simply sits on the promoter site because glucose is not present in this situation. So when if like glucose is completely absent, so it is not able to be a reason of keep falling of the promoter side, so transcription finally will occur. So these are the four situations where glucose present or absent, and lac operon activity will be like this. So simply in the three situation, transcription will not be occur. In the last situation, where glucose is completely absent and lactose is present, transcription will be occur. So that's how you can simply understand the lac operon process and how lac operon regulates the lactose degradation process. So this is the sum up of this session, and this session is completely powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.